Welcome to today's Explainer. We're charting an absolutely incredible timeline of growth, resilience, and just sheer willpower. We're talking about the ascent to Old Trafford greatness for Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, before the massive global fame and way before that seemingly endless list of accolades, there was this young talent who had to overcome severe poverty and serious health problems, literally just to step onto the pitch. We're going to break down exactly how he went from those incredibly difficult early circumstances to, well, completely conquering English football. It's really a masterclass in overcoming adversity and rising to the occasion. Which brings us to a huge question. What actually happens when a teenager is suddenly handed the heaviest expectations in sports? This is the core theme of our explainer today. Because, we so often see incredibly talented individuals just crumble when the spotlight suddenly blinds them. I mean, stepping onto the biggest stage after fighting through health and financial struggles, that's a massive, massive leap. And when that kind of immense pressure is placed squarely on your shoulders right out of the gate, you really only have two choices, right? You either fold under the weight or you let it completely forge you. Keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this journey together.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, a prodigy in Portugal.
Now, to really understand the global superstar, we first have to understand the raw, unpolished gem. At just 17 years old, he made his first team debut for Sporting CP. And look, he didn't just quietly blend in with the older professionals, he actively disrupted the game. He had this wild, unique combination of speed, skill, and just sheer, undeniable confidence. Those traits made him stand out from literally every other player on the pitch. It wasn't just that he had potential. It was that his potential was loud, it was fast, and it was absolutely impossible to ignore.
Moving right along to Part 2, the match that changed everything. So in the summer of 2003, Sporting CP hosted a friendly against Manchester United, and for a highly driven 17-year-old, this was an audition he was entirely prepared to dominate. And wow, did he deliver a breathtaking performance. Picture this, just blinding pace down the wings and dribbling that twisted seasoned defenders like John O'Shea completely inside out. The United players were left absolutely amazed, just scrambling to contain a teenager who was playing the game at a staggering speed.
And this brilliantly illustrates the immediate cause and effect of raw, undeniable talent. Right after the match, several United players reportedly marched straight to Sir Alex Ferguson and urged him to sign this kid immediately. Like, they had just faced him for 90 minutes and their reaction was basically, "We cannot leave this stadium without him." His sheer dominance literally forced United's hand.
Which takes us to Part 3, the weight of number 7.
Just a few short weeks after that famous friendly, the deal was done and he arrived at Old Trafford. But as you can imagine, that was just the beginning of a heavily scrutinized chapter. The number 7. At Manchester United, this isn't just a number on a shirt, it's a legendary mantle. Inheriting a jersey previously worn by absolute titans of the sport is an immense burden. It's kind of like walking into a demanding new job and being handed the desk of the greatest person to ever work there. The pressure associated with this single digit was just enormous.
I actually want to pause here for a second and throw a question back to you. How do you handle imposter syndrome when stepping into massive expectations? Maybe you felt it when taking on a huge promotion, or maybe starting a really demanding new project. When the ghost of legends is hanging over your position, man, it is so incredibly easy to second-guess yourself. You're young, you're new, and the entire world is watching your every single move, just waiting to see if you're truly worthy of what you've been given.
And believe me, the critics were definitely watching. So the really crucial point here is how he handled that inevitable backlash. Early on, critics were so quick to claim he was just flashy and immature, they mistook the step-overs and the flair for a total lack of substance. But Ronaldo, he responded the only way he knew how, through relentless hard work. Because, look, talent might get your foot in the door, but it's that grinding, everyday effort that actually quiets the critics. He didn't argue in the press, he argued out there on the training pitch.
Finally, let's look at Part 4, reaching the ultimate summit.
Now watch how this builds, because all that hard work compounded rapidly. Season after season, the flashy teenager evolved, and his output completely skyrocketed. I mean, he hit a staggering 42 goals in all competitions during the 2007 to 2008 season. By 2008, he reached an absolute crescendo, winning the Premier League, the Champions League, and his very first Ballon d'Or. That award? That was the ultimate undeniable receipt for his relentless effort. It was the final, definitive answer to every single critic who ever called him just flashy.
Which brings us to this definitive statement. Cristiano Ronaldo had conquered England. Think about it. The kid who came from severe poverty, who fought through those scary early health issues, who wowed the veterans in a friendly, and who bore the crushing weight of that number 7 jersey, he had reached the absolute peak. He hadn't just survived the massive expectations, he completely surpassed them, leaving absolutely no doubt about his greatness on that stage.
But, true ambition never really rests, does it? Having conquered England, he was ready for an even bigger challenge. And that leads me to my final question for you today. What is your even bigger challenge once you've conquered your current goals? When you reach the summit, do you just set up camp, or do you look for the next, taller mountain? It's a fascinating mindset to unpack. I really hope this explainer has given you a powerful framework for looking at how raw talent, when combined with absolute hard work, can overcome even the heaviest of expectations. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hey, keep looking for that next big challenge.